Hola, angels everywhere. We're everywhere. You know, I, I where to start? Um, Daphne, I talked to Laverne last night. In fact, it's it's part of the awakening process, I think. Your sleep patterns are completely disrupted and you don't care. We were talking at 2 a.m. because both of us were activated. And what else are you going to do? But I did talk to Laverne, and Laverne Shepherd, who's a friend of mine, she and a whole lot of people, it wasn't just her, came up with Speary and Bebot and all this. Anyway, I talked to her last night because I really wanted to have her on here to share. And I know she's kind of up to her eyeballs in AI, which is artificial intelligence, for us to have tools that utilize artificial intelligence to assist in this awakening process. It's very cool. Anyway, she's kind of right in the middle of something. She said by January, it should be much clearer as to what's available to us. And so that'll be coming in January, that's a highlights of things to come. Anyway, I'm calling this session, and I hate to sound so gimmicky, but it is a holiday season. And I'm calling this Celebrating the Holiday of Lights, the Return of the Sun, SON. So, what I was shown last night, this whole process that, someone somewhere termed awakening, which is just as good as any, is not our responsibility. Okay. It is not our responsibility to wake ourselves up. Our responsibility is to get out of our way. All right. And this is tough. It's a big transition because it means you're starting to get what forgiveness really is, and you're pulling back your projections, and you're forgiving yourself for having these thoughts and all the stuff that we've talked about up till now. Okay. And it's a lengthy process. There's a lot to forgive, a lot of thoughts to forgive. And it's just keep forgiving, keep forgiving, keep forgiving. Holy Spirit, help me see this differently and this differently and this differently. That's what that is. And I was, asking Holy Spirit to show me, if there aren't any steps, but I was asking Holy Spirit, what can I expect as, a transition from where I am right now? And I got interesting information last night, just very interesting information. And that's where the title came up, Celebrating the Holiday of Lights, the Return of the Sun. Because at some point, and everybody is different, and all I can tell you, the process to get there is keep forgiving, keep forgiving, keep forgiving, ad nauseum, until you think there is nothing left to forgive. Keep forgiving, keep asking to drop deeper into the forgiveness, because it was surprising. It continues to be surprising of how much there is to forgive. So in this process of forgiveness, at some point, the light body becomes activated. Okay. And you see, when we're born, not much of a light body present, even though, oh, aren't they cute? Aren't they cute? It disappears very quickly. And they get into the grind of life, and I got to go to school, I've got to make myself something, I need to make money, I need a career, all that stuff. I want to travel, whatever it is, get married, have children, whatever those thoughts are, we get lost in the horizontal. So as we're unwinding this horizontal process, which is what we're doing by forgiving, pulling back our projections, one step at a time, Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. we start pulling away from this horizontal field that feels so incredibly real. And the whole horizontal field is based on opinions and blaming and seeing ourselves as victims, worrying, all of that. That's horizontal. And as we start this forgiveness process, we start addressing all of those. At some point, we go, oh my God, my opinion doesn't mean a thing. Yeah, I mean, it's all part of this process. So this light body getting activated, and this can also be a very intense transition, is what I was told. And it's been my experience. I'm still doing this transition, and it's basically the body still feels real. Okay, to put it as simply as possible, the body still seems very real. And as the light body gets activated, the physical body starts disappearing. All right. And I'm gonna read the one lesson that confuses most Course in Miracles students. I am a body. I am not a body. I am free. Okay. So I should put on my glasses for this. Freedom must be impossible as long as you perceive a body as yourself. Freedom must be impossible as long as you perceive a body as yourself. The body is a limit. Who would seek for freedom in a body looks for it where it cannot be found? So if you see yourself as a body, you're still seeing other bodies, and you're seeing some kind of access to freedom through bodies, forgiving other bodies, or seeing your body as true. Okay. The mind can be made free when it no longer sees itself as a body, firmly tied to it and sheltered by its presence. If this were the truth, the mind were vulnerable indeed. The mind that serves the Holy Spirit, that's the other, okay. So when we're talking about bodies, we're talking about that way of thinking that we came into this world thinking the horizontal is true. Now we flip to the other side. As the body becomes less real, we move to this side. The mind that serves the Holy Spirit is unlimited forever, in all ways, beyond the laws of time and space, unbound by any preconceptions, and with strength and power to do whatever it is asked. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, that's why we're doing this mind training, is to get to this side of thinking. All right? Attack thoughts cannot enter such a mind because it has been given to the source of love. And fear can never enter in a mind that has attached itself to love. It rests in God. And who can be afraid who lives in innocence and only love? I must say, I was guided to this lesson. I'm always getting exactly what I need. And it was it's lesson 199. I am not a body, I am free. And I've grown up with this lesson throughout the years and have had different understandings of it. Now I'm starting to really get it. It's the big transition. Lesson 199 is the big transition from seeing bodies, relating to bodies. This is where I need to be responsible for someone else. I'm a mother, I should take care of my children. It doesn't mean you're going to stop doing those things. It just means you're going to start looking at these as the contexts of beliefs in which you live. And as you forgive, and all you have to do, really, seriously, all you have to do is keep forgiving, keep forgiving, keep forgiving. You got body pain, forgive it. Got, headaches, forgive it. You got a noisy neighbor, forgive it. Keep going. Just keep going. And if you have a looping thought, really dig deeper, go deeper. Holy Spirit, this one's looping. I don't like this. And that's all you have to do. And then at some moment, you start realizing you really like yourself. You really start not only liking yourself, but loving yourself. And this is where you see the Christ in yourself. And remember, Christ is not Jesus's last name. Christ means the anointed one. So you're seeing yourself as the anointed one. No need for gurus, no need for teachers, no need for any others, because you become that for yourself. And as you do this, as you start loving yourself more and more, I am not a body, I am free. The body starts disappearing. At the same time, what happens is that light body, which exists on this side of our thinking, okay? Not seeing through our senses, but seeing through love, through Holy Spirit's eyes, through God's eyes. The light body starts getting awakened in us. Now, again, as it was explained to me last night, it's still another transition that we have to go through in this process we call awakening. But in this process, hang on, I took notes. When Holy Spirit gives me a download, I tend to take notes. Okay, this is a transition of a period of thoughts, of moments of thoughts, where you really are not interested in taking care of anybody. And this is, again, this is not in the physical world. This is in your mind. You're no longer worrying about someone, that if you don't take care of them, no one will, and that somehow you're responsible, and all of this drops away. The body is not the primary reactive agent. So again, you're not seeing a body that needs help. You're deeper in your commitment to getting rid of any guilt, any thoughts that you're less than. All right. And so it's still, the mind training is still in effect. Look at what you're thinking. Where are you still wanting to take responsibility for someone? Where are you giving your opinions? Where are you wanting to make corrections? Blah, 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 all those. You just keep doing that through this transition. But at this point, the desire to make corrections is not nearly, I'm speaking, I know this is true, because yeah, I was a heat-seeking missile for correction of others, all right? That was my life. So, and as now, I get very quiet. Like I said, this is the loudest and noisiest I get is on this particular Zoom call. When I'm in public, someone, I noticed this yesterday, it's usually in the van, because there's like 9 people in our van going someplace, and there's at least 3 or 4 different conversations going on at any given time. And someone asked me yesterday, it was a question about mind training. Well, anytime anyone asks me a question about mind training, I will jump in and join. And so I jumped in and joined, but there was so much noise, I kind of just stopped and just smiled and nodded and went back into my meditative process. Well, this woman, she asked the entire bus to shut up. She said, "Shut up, Calico, could you share?" I was like, holy mother of God, this has never happened to me before, you guys. Okay. I mean, I have gotten so many lessons in this bus because half the time I'm out of my mind with all the noise and just want to get out of the bus. Well, now I just go into a meditative state, and this has been a process of forgiveness, a lengthy process. And now I'm perfectly fine with it. Doesn't bother me. People can carry on as loudly as they want. They can smash more people on me. I don't care anymore. But yesterday was just this first time, and this is what triggered my getting up with Holy Spirit last night. It's a time, it's a transition. The light body activation is a transition showing up by the thoughts of not needing to take care of anybody, fix anything, correct anything. A time of not worrying, preaching, blaming, or projecting. Wow. I mean, I felt like I had, I was getting a doctorate program last night from Holy Spirit. It's like, okay. And it was very clear because I asked Holy Spirit, okay, so is there anything I need to do differently? No, just keep forgiving. Keep forgiving. Keep watching your thoughts. Keep forgiving. Go deeper. Go deeper. It's like, okay, because I like that. I'm going to read it again because it's so perfect. The light body is activated. Bodies are not the primary reactive agents. It shows up by the thoughts of not needing to take care of anybody, fix anything, correct anything, a time of not worrying, preaching, blaming, or projecting. I mean, I'm still I get goosebumpy just even reading it. And this is where it can be kind of intense. And this is, I mean, yeah, Vera, you talked about it oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to mention it. You talked about it in the Zoom call the other day, and it was very helpful, I think, for everybody. This is a time of a lot of reactions to these new ways of being without guilt cords. And this is my experience is, lots of angry emails, lots of people giving me their opinions about the way I share and who I am and how I look. And I mean, all of it, it all comes in. And, I've been reactive, and then I get less reactive, and now I'm getting used to it. And I did my joining with a mighty companion. This was about a month ago. I think I even mentioned it in here. Joined with a mighty companion, and he told me, he said, you're testing yourself with this. So when you get these emails of people thinking you should be something else or you're not acting appropriately, it's a test we're giving ourselves to see how completely our forgiveness has been affected. And if we get triggered by it, there's more healing to be done in whatever aspect of forgiveness that is. That's all. And so it's just to go deeper with whatever we're getting triggered with, to go, okay, I'm still getting triggered, so I still have some healing to do. And then more of this. And this is really clear to this transition of the light body awakening. And what it is there's a lot of opinions to you not behaving correctly. Okay. So in the horizontal, read the silent vow in A Course in Miracles. It talks a lot about this, but it's like we have a vow to just be horizontal. Stay horizontal. Don't go pushing the boundaries. Stay horizontal. So as you go more and more vertical, these folks that are seeing you go vertical don't like it. If they're still in a place of seeing guilt and just ignoring it for whatever reason, they're going to make you wrong. And they're going to point it out. And it's a test for me to personally go, oh, interesting. Yeah, I've had that lesson. And thank you for sharing. And thank you. I love you. And then I know the healing is complete. There's no hooks, none. Now, and then something else gets triggered and I go through the whole thing all over again. Or someone writes me an email and I go through it all over again. But as I do this, I'm less and less affected by the opinions of others. I don't care. I really don't care. I'll listen to it and I'll love them, but I'm not hooked by it. And okay, thank you for sharing. And I move on quickly. In the way I used to think, all it would take would be one negative comment and I would loop on that for a lifetime. It's like, oh my God, I can't even remember what some of them were. I can't even remember what some of them were, but whatever it is, it just would loop and loop and loop and loop. Now it's like, it doesn't affect me like that. It's like, and it's a test I give myself to see if I've really gotten that lesson. Okay, so this is the happy learner. It's like, oh, good. I'm making some progress, some headway in my thinking from transitioning from this way of thinking to seeing all through love. It reminds me of, this, I know everyone's heard the analogy of the awakening process is, an ugly caterpillar builds a cocoon and then eventually breaks out of the cocoon with vibrant, lovely wings. Okay. Well, that's what came to mind when I was hearing this. It's kind of like, as you are showing your vibrantly colored wings, many caterpillars are jealous. And they may take it out by projecting all over you. It's like, put those wings away. What do you think you are? Stay an ugly caterpillar like the rest of us, okay? And it's not making them wrong. It's just me seeing my wings, okay? I'm not interested because, again, I go back to there is no collective mind. There's only my mind. So if I don't allow those thoughts in and allow myself to celebrate, yeah, I'm really loving myself, really like myself. I like who I am. Wow, that's cool. And this is not the way I lived my life, not even remotely, not even remotely. So this is a big transition of the light body getting activated. And all I can say is it is a transition. You start out by trying to figure out what forgiveness is, and then you get what a projection is, and you start pulling back projections, and that's the beginning transitions. And it takes whatever it takes. It took me a fairly long time. I'm not saying it'll take you a long time, but it took me a while. And then as you go through this, and now what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing a distinct shift. And the first thing I saw was I'm not focusing on my body. I'm not making my body wrong, which I did a lot. I'd look in a mirror and go, oh my God, what happened? What happened to you? It's kind of, there was judgment behind it. What can I say? And it was me just going, oh, I love you. And I didn't start out by doing that. So I had to really look at, where am I still judging myself? I want to be thinner, more beautiful, younger, whatever the insane thoughts are, I had to start really forgiving myself for thinking those thoughts. And then as I did that, I started not focusing on the body. And this, I remember when this, I can't remember when it was, but I remember when I thought, wow, I'm not seeing my body. Oh, I remember it was because I wasn't focusing on cancer in the body. That wasn't even a thought. The biggest thought, and the one that I still deal with a lot of, is it moves, and I don't even say it moves slowly, okay? this form, you know, I don't even claim it. It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm not my body. I am not my body. But it does appear to be moving slower. And that's the biggest criticism I have now. And it's the one that I'm working on forgiveness with. Every time I have that thought, you know, I'm walking somewhere and I go, wow, this body is really not very fast. And it's kind of like, honey, it's okay. You take whatever time you need to go wherever it is that you go in short distances, whatever. And it's just, I love me exactly as I am and exactly as I'm not. And that's where I find myself in this transition. And this is the last thing Holy Spirit told me. This transition is the end of physicality. The light body becomes greater as the body focus disappears. Okay. And so I just had to share this good news. I mean, I thought it was really great news. I was celebrating the holiday of lights, the return of the sun, S-O-N, you know. It's not here. This is sun, S-U-N, sun, S-O-N. So I had to share that with you. And with that being shared, oh, we have a, oh, thank you. Daphne just wrote the Bbot address. Thank you, Daphne. That's very helpful. And again, Laverne is moving way beyond Bbot at this point. Who knows where it's going to come up. It's very exciting. You know, she wants to have everyone with glasses. And as soon as you have a negative thought, it'll have a little red flag that appears in your glasses that says, your heart rate and respirations have just increased. Perhaps there's something to forgive. I mean, that's where Laverne is going. This is wild shit. We're moving into a whole nother arena of forgiveness. But that'll be for January when she gets through with that. But for right now, Bbot is what we've got, and you can get that on that link. So with that being said, we're going to say goodbye to all our little YouTubers. Goodbye, YouTubers. And just a note, YouTubers, if you'd like to join us live in the studio in person, just message me. Give me your email and I'll put you on the list. It's about time to send out a new link. Anyway, that's all we have for today, folks. Have a great moment. And we'll be back on whenever, Saturday. Okay? Stop.